business owner and looking for an opportunity to network and collaborate with other like-minded professionals, executives, and community leaders? Well, look no further. Exposure Spotlight Magazine has launched its business network group, and you're invited to join us where your business can grow. Just look for us on Facebook at Exposure Spotlight Magazine Business Network Group. Hello, everyone. This is Teresa Perkins, host of Exposure Spotlight Magazine, where your dreams, your voice matters. And listen, I am so excited today because we have a wonderful guest that is going to share with us why he is running for office. And he is running for the Section 2, Division G, Judge of the Louisiana 19 Judicial District Court Judge in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We are so excited to have him. He has 30 years of experience in law. Everyone that is listening, help me to welcome this lovely gentleman who has a lot of knowledge. His name is Attorney Dele Adebamiji. Got it. I got it. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and clap and pat my own self. Yes. How are you doing today?
I am doing marvelously well today. And how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Look, I'm so excited as always to have you, better yet, to have a conversation with you and for you to share with everyone what's going on and why you're running for office and why you can be that person that they need to vote for, because we want to see them at the ballot and we want to be able to call it as God have it to be done. You are the winning judge, okay?
Amen.
Yes, you are. So look, just share with everyone, how long have you been practicing? I know we say 30 years of experience, but where did it really all derive from?
Well, my name is Dele Adebamiji, as you've already said. But there's nothing that makes me so happy like talking about law. Because it all started from when I was a youth. I was very tender, and my father asked me one day, "What do you want to be in life?" I said I wanted to be a lawyer. But you can tell he wasn't happy. He didn't like lawyers. He didn't think lawyers would go to heaven. So he was kind of disturbed. Say, out of all professions, why you want to be a lawyer? So after a while, I changed my mind. I said, okay, I want to be a priest. I think he kind of liked the idea of being a priest.
He's a priest, huh?
Yeah, but he's like, okay, you can be a priest. That's better than being a lawyer. So, but as God will have it, God has his own plan. We human, we have our own plans. And I just find myself gravitating towards law. I went to school, I read journalism, and after a while, I applied to law school, and law school accepted me, and I finished law school, and bam. That's it. That's how I came into law.
Wow, how awesome. So you specialize basically in domestic violence, is that correct? Or?
No, really, I do not specialize in any aspect of the law. But I've practiced various laws. I've practiced in family court, and I've done so many domestic violence cases. But I also do civil cases like accident cases where you have fender benders and any other serious accident cases. I do it, and I've also practiced a lot of criminal law, and I've represented over thousands and thousands of criminal cases, both in the federal court, in the state court, and all local courts. So the only thing I don't do is I don't do bankruptcy. And
okay.
I no longer do bankruptcy, and I no longer do social security hearing. It's just an effort to pare down some of my practice.
Oh, okay. Well, look, and also too, I want to introduce this lovely lady that is joining us as well. She is the host of Voices of Virtue, the wonderful and the Miss Cheryl Reshort. So do you have a question as of right now, Ms. Reshort, for Attorney Dele?
And how are you doing today, Miss Richard?
I am wonderful. And I'm even more elated to be in your presence.
Amen.
I'm glad to have you too.
And thank you, Ms. Teresa, for this opportunity to bring me on to have a conversation with you as well.
Yes.
And a question that I wanted to ask Attorney Dele, if it's okay that I call you that, because I don't want to mess up your name.
Look, that's what most people call me. And the judges is like, in the legal profession, this is the only person that goes by one name, Dele. So, hey, I'm used to it, and I have no qualm about that.
Okay, great. What I wanted to ask Attorney Dele, in this arena of being a judge and with the rewarding changes, when we make changes, we always do change for better. What do you anticipate on doing in making changes in our justice system when elected as judge?
Well, the judges make law, okay? And judges have the opportunity to change lives. Judges can change lives, and they can send people to jail. And, when you want to change the law, it starts from the judicial judges, really, until it goes all the way to the Court of Appeal. So a judge who is knowledgeable and knows what the law says is able to make changes, like, when you have people who have mental problem in the courtroom, or people who are drug addicts. So a judge should be able to differentiate between this set of people, drug addicts and drug sellers. If a drug dealer is quite different from a drug addict. A drug addict doesn't need to be sent down to the jail for 20 years, 25 years, because we're not achieving anything if you do that. If you don't rehabilitate him and you turn him back out, you haven't achieved nothing. But instead, if drug addicts they need love and care rather than being sent to prison. And the same thing with those people who have mental problems. We need to find a way to be able to take care of them. Because sometimes the justice just put them in the general population in prison, and sometimes they get beat up so bad that when you see them, you feel sorry for them. Those are the kind of changes I want to bring into the judgeship. I want to be able to give those non-violent offenders, to be able to give them second chance, so they can see that it's better to have a second chance rather than make criminals out of them because they committed misdemeanors crimes.
Wow, awesome.
That's very profound. That was a very profound. I'm so glad you touched that topic with drugs, because it has affected so many families.
Yes,
that's
not
right.
Just the married couple, but the children as well. Family overall. That's a subject I'm so glad you touched on.
Thank you.
And with that, when we're talking about family, we're talking about people. Another subject I would love to ask you a question about is equality. When we see in our justice system today is so much inequality. What do you anticipate on doing to making sure your platform, it speaks and it delivers on equality no matter what your background is? What do you plan to do?
Well, I live by certain principles in life. My first principle is I believe that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. If you have the fear of God in you, for you to do something terrible or to do something bad, you won't be able to, because you will have that conscience freaking you that, guy, you have to do the right thing. So for me, the fear of God is enough for me to make sure that, I should be committed to treating everybody fairly. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your background is. It's always good to treat people right and treat everybody with the same, with the same justice. Even the Bible tells you, you shouldn't pervert justice. Right. You can't say, okay, because Miss Richard is rich, so therefore I can't give him justice. I'll give it to somebody who is poor. No, if you deserve to get justice, then you deserve it. It shouldn't be mainly because you're rich and the other person is poor, or because the other person is poor and the other person is rich. So those are the kind of things I would live by through God's grace.
Yeah. Also, I want to touch bases on, you all know that it's so much crime that is happening today, and it's happening a lot among our young people. And it's not just here in the state of Louisiana, but it's all across the United States. Can you share with us, or tell us rather, what do you believe are the causes of the high rates of minority violence, incarceration, or is it that they're not being incarcerated long enough? Because really something has to be done to stop the gun violence that is taking place today.
Well, let me make this clear. I support the Second Amendment, the right to bear guns. The right to bear arms. I think we all entitled to that freedom to bear arms. But on the same aspect of it, we need to find a way to keep guns out of the hands of criminals. Guns don't kill people.
Right.
People kill people by having those guns. That's one thing. And number two, those people who have guns in their homes too, they should know and find a way to secure those guns. Because now we hear children 4-year-old finding gun in the house and killing their siblings or shooting themselves. For me, when I hear those kind of news, it's very appalling. I think the gun owner in those one should be dealt with. And when we talk about criminals, people who commit vicious crimes, violent crimes, and yet they walk in the street, I think we need to find a way to make sure those kind of people are the kind of people we incarcerate for quite a while. We shouldn't be incarcerating the drug addicts, the petty thieves, and those who commit misdemeanor crimes. But those who keep the repeat offenders that keep getting back on the street, we need to find a way to teach them the lesson and letting them know, say, hey, we will be tough on violent crimes. If you commit violent crimes, we will deal with you. And if we say that, we need to make it happen. We just can't say it, give them a slap on the hand, and let them walk away.
Right. You're absolutely correct. I really just think that, I don't know, is that they're not allowing, or the judges not giving them enough time in the juvenile, prisons, or, what exactly is it, or what, or something just needs to be done.
Well, you're right. Something needs to be done. Now we're even seeing that, when people, especially they say juvenile, 17-year-old shoot someone, we want to send them back to the juvenile court. For me, I just believe a 17-year-old who kills someone shouldn't be sent to the juvenile court. They say he's a baby at 17. I don't believe those kind of people are babies. I think we need to re-examine those kind of situations and see what we will do. Because if we keep allowing people to kill people and walk free, we won't be able to control the type of crime that we will have in the society. And our community deserves better.
All right. So tell us, Attorney Adebamiji.
There you go.
Can you tell us, why should people vote for you? Why should
I've practiced law for over 30 years, really. And my first stint of law is practicing with legal aid. And when you're a legal aid lawyer, you do a lot of work. I've done a lot of divorces. I've done a lot of child support for mothers who are trying to get child support so they can raise their children when the men decide to leave the homes. So I fought for them. For my community, I believe that it's always good to give back to your community. If you're in a community and the community accepts you, it's not what your community can do for you. It's what you as a person can do for your community. That's why in the juvenile system, I represented children for free for over 28 years, because I believe when you catch them young, right? You're able to make a change in their life, and you're able to find a way to inculcate some good aspect into their lives. And not only that, even though as a lawyer I was very busy practicing law, but I still found time to coach soccer with the Baton Rouge Soccer Association. And I know most coaches who coach, they get paid, but I did mine for free for over 12 years with the Baton Rouge Soccer Association and Capital City United. I've, in this community, I've helped a lot. I'm not trying to say they should pay me back, but I just believe in my community. I believe in helping my community, and I believe in contributing my quota into the betterment of the community. And my experience of 30 years practicing of law, that's a unique experience. And I also bring a unique experience from my home background. Mm-hmm. We all don't come from the same background. Yeah. But there are things I bring from my home background. Number one, family is very important to me. I believe in pro-life, and I believe in the traditional marriage. So those kind of values I would like to inculcate more into my home community also.
Wow. So when you are chosen as the 19th Judicial District Court Judge, what is it that we can expect from you?
Well, number one, you can expect if I say something that I will do it.
Wow, that's great.
Your word is your bond, huh?
My word is my bond. And number two, look, I can tell you this flat out. I don't owe nobody any allegiance, okay? I don't have no godfather pushing me behind saying, when you get there, you have to pay back. I don't have them. The only godfather I have is God. And when he says, I will get in there, and nobody else that can stop it. So if I don't owe any allegiance to nobody, I don't have to. You can't control me. You can't tell me what to do. I want to do it. Anything I do, I want to do it as if I'm doing it to God.
Awesome. All right, Ms. Cheryl, what question you have for Attorney Dele?
I want to piggyback on one of your questions Ms. Teresa had for you, Attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Dealing with the crime. How do you feel with all the young people with crime? How do you feel about young people, kids being trialed as adults? How do you feel about that when they commit a crime? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a mixed bag for me. Okay, there are some kids who really made mistakes. I can understand those kids, but now where do you stop this age issue? And where the question really is for me is, at what age do you want to start holding them accountable? For me, at 17, I think they should hold you accountable, really. At the age of 12, maybe if off about that. But I believe that, even if you're a juvenile and you still kill someone, I don't think we should handle those kind of issues with kids' gloves. Because if we do not find a way to rehabilitate or teach those kind of kids lesson, if they come out, they will do the same thing again, because they know that, oh, well, what did they do? Just a slap on the wrist. Right. So it just has a mixed bag. For me, it's a mixed bag of feelings. So but one thing is for sure: if you commit a crime, you have to pay the price.
Yeah. Well, and I'm with you 150% on that. I feel like this here, if they can go out and do the crime, then they should be able to pay the time. I don't know if I said that exactly the way it goes, but
right.
If you go out there and do things that you know that you shouldn't do, you should be able to pay for the time in prison. It's just that simple.
That's right.
I wholeheartedly believe that. Now, if it was an accident and, or what have you, or whatever the case, that's another different story. But if you go out there and you go and rob someone and, and you went out there with a gun, that means automatically you went there to kill.
Exactly.
And so I feel deeply that you should be able to pay for the time.
Exactly.
And but let's touch a little bit on mental health, because also too you have some experience with that, if I'm not mistaken, about mental health, because it's a lot of that going on.
That's right.
People are going into the schools, and oh my God, it's just like one thing. And really, in all honesty, you think everybody pretty much that going out and killing and destroying people got some type of mental health issue. But then again, I feel like this year, I was a psychology major, but because sometimes we think mental health is that you're absolutely, crazy or whatever, but I personally, I'm just wondering, what are people really thinking when they go out and do such a crime, such as killing kids? I mean, do you really think that they have some type of mental health issue? I think it goes far and beyond something else. Perhaps drugs, that's usually a part of it. So, and I guess the reason why I'm saying this, because people are quick to want to put those people in a mental institute if they don't end up killing themselves. But I don't think that's the answer, because I feel if they went out there, the same thing, they went out there and killed these kids or anyone else and claiming that they have some type of mental health issue, they should be able to pay for the time too.
Well,
what's your opinion on that, Attorney?
Well, basically, if there's any sign of mental health problem, most of the judges, what they do is that they have this hearing we call sanity hearing. The judge will, if the lawyer defending the criminal says, hey, my guy has a mental problem and there is some proof, you just can't say it and not have no proof no evidence to back it up. If it is very big, the issue of mental health is very big now, because most people who have mental problem, they will never agree that they have mental problems. Mm-hmm. So that's the number one thing, because when they go into the courtroom and you're telling them, for me, the way my clients talk to me, I pay attention to it, because when I'm representing somebody, I just want to make sure that I really do a good job. Mm-hmm. Because my name, my signature is on your papers. I'm mm-hmm. the one representing you, and it means a lot to me. So anything I put my name on, I'll make sure that I do the best job anybody possibly could do. So when I'm dealing with my client, I'm always asking, say, oh God, I'm doing this for you, so wow. I have to do this right. So most of the time when I talk to my client, if I detect there are certain things that they're not supposed to be saying or talking, I will ask their family member, have your child or your brother, has he been on any kind of medication before? You'll be surprised that most of the time, most of them are on some kind of medication, but their problem is that they got off of that medication, and so they misbehave or they do something they shouldn't do. And but sometimes the court system doesn't have that kind of opportunity to slow down and fill these people out, because the judge has like about how many, maybe 100 people on his docket, and what he wants to do is go through the docket and get it over with. And the DA or assistant DA, they have so many people to prosecute, they don't have the ability to slow down and look and see what's wrong with your client. Mm-hmm. All they see is that your client committed a crime. So what I have done is that if I find out, I've always filed a motion for sanity hearing. And sometimes most of them are granted, and sometimes some of them are not granted. I represented a lady one time, and somebody already represented her, and they already found her guilty, and they told her to pay some money. They put her on probation, and whenever they catch her, they will put her in jail, and they will beat her up in the jail. So her family said, can you please represent her? So I took the case, but the first thing I noticed was that something is wrong with this woman. So when I got into the courtroom, I told the judge, I'm like, Judge, how is it that you all don't see that something is wrong with this woman?
Yeah.
Whenever she has a bench warrant, I will find her on the street. She used to be rich, but somehow she blew all her money. And I think she got into depression and she became bad. I said, look, if she is in her right sense, she wouldn't have just hit a police car and stayed there and say, arrest me. You almost know that something was wrong. And the judge was like, well, the DA should have known that. I'm like, the DA was like, okay, the probation officer should have known that. Come to find out, she was on 5 different, medication. So the judge was touched on that day and said, Mr. Adebamiji, I'm sorry, we just didn't pay attention to this case. And they said, well, this day I'm going to cut her loose from probation. If you put somebody who has mental problem on probation, how is she going to accomplish it?
Yeah. Right.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things that, the system, and whenever they put her in jail, she will go there, she will misbehave, and the other female will beat her. They think, they thought that she knew what she was doing, whereas it was mental problem, But that's one of the things, that's one of the cases I think that really gave me satisfaction when they cut her loose from the, from the probation and they let her go. And it's a success story because now her family member took her off of the street. She's now on her medication. And you won't believe this. She bought a house.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
She bought a house.
Wow.
Her sister was telling me she bought a house and she's now doing a whole lot better because now they regimented her and she's on her medication. But before, because of her mental problems, sometimes she sleeps in the bus stop, sometimes she sleeps on the street, and yet she's on probation.
Wow. So I'm just going to ask a question though. I mean, do you really think that I'm not saying medication doesn't help, but in some cases too, medication can hurt you. But I mean, but do you really think that that is the best regimen for those that have, mental health issues?
I'm not going to profess to you that I'm a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Okay, either one of them, I am not. Yeah? But what I can tell you is that, from my own little perspective and what I see, I think we should give them a trial. We just can't fold our hand and throw our hands up. Oh, medication is not going to help, but at least we got to try. He who dares nothing gains nothing. So let's try and see if there's a way they can help these people because they can't help themselves. For me, I just think they're defenseless. That's why, it really touches me when I see them.
All right. Yeah. So I want to ask you this question. Okay. Use an example of the shooting that just took place and I don't know if I should say this, but anyway, that took place in Texas. Let's say if this young man, he lived through this where, he didn't get killed or anything and he lived through this. How would you handle that situation with him as a judge?
Well, anything we say now is just going to be speculation because we don't know the facts surrounding the case. What we all know now is that he killed some people. And then, we had some chattering from other people, the mom, the dad, and all those kind of stuff. Well, as a judge, we all are guided by the law that, in case of this is what you do. In case of this is what you can do. So for me, all I can do is apply the law to what the law says. If the law says don't give him a bond, I won't give you a bond. If I see that the situation demands that you set a high bond, you set a high bond. And if they say, he might have a mental problem, well, you let some psychiatrist or psychologist, whichever way, you let them examine him and see if he really qualifies, as they say, that, he has mental problem or not. So all you can do is follow the law in those kind of situations. And as for me, whatever the law says do, that's what I will do. Because my priority is to safeguard the community.
Yeah. So once you were chosen as the district court judge, do you really see yourself you can make a difference in the city of Baton Rouge?
Absolutely. I believe I can make a whole lot of difference in the city of Baton Rouge. I love this country. This country accepted me. I'm a citizen of this country. That's why I joined the Louisiana Army National Guard and said, hey, if there's anything I can do to contribute to my country, I'm not afraid to. I'm not afraid to live my life for the country that accepted me. This is my home. This is my country. So if I cannot make positive contribution to this community and this country as a whole, then I have failed the community. I have four girls and one boy, and unfortunately the boy passed away in 2015. But I have four girls, and these four girls have made me proud. Yeah. One of them finished from Southern University with BA in Business Administration. The second one is finished from LSU, and she's now a medical doctor in Seattle Children's Hospital. Wow. And the third one finished from Louisiana Tech in business in business engineering, and she works for Target in Texas. And the fourth one, who is the princess of the house, she's at LSU now studying biochem. I can't say God hasn't blessed me. God has been good in my life, and all I can say is good God, all the praises. So those children have really made me proud. And like I always tell them, don't forget where you come from. Contribute your quota to the community.
Yeah, right. And now let's touch bases on your spouse, because is she an attorney as well?
Well, number one, she likes to be seen as an educationist, because her first degree and her master's degree are in education. So she likes to be seen as an educationist more rather than a lawyer. But she is a lawyer also.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
She's a lawyer, and she has a PhD.
Got it, honestly. I mean, it's brains in the family there.
Exactly.
Brains in the family. That's awesome.
Well, we thank God. I know she is a PhD holder, she's a law holder, but she loves education more than all those things put together. And I can say, well, God really gave her to me to help me out, because God knew I'm a fool. So I needed somebody to guide me through life. So he gave her to me.
He gave you a good helpmate. That's awesome.
Yes.
So Cheryl, do you have another question before we end our conversation with Attorney Dele?
I had one more that I was thinking about. We see it a lot on big trials, big cases, and sometimes there are issues of conflict of interest. What is your intake? If you were ever in that predicament, what would you do in a case like that?
Well, for me, I don't think you should wait until your conflict of interest manifests before you get out of a case. If I believe we're gonna have the appearance of appearance of conflict, I would think about getting off of that case. Because if you know you have a conflict of interest and you stay in that case, for me, what you're doing is that you're betraying the confidence of the masses who elected you into position. If you know you have a conflict of interest, believe me, there are many other cases you can go into that you won't have that conflict of interest. Because if you have conflict of interest, you will not be able to apply the law the way you're supposed to. So for me, if I have a conflict of interest, you won't even tell me twice before I get off of the case.
Awesome.
So, Attorney Dele, when the actual voting date?
Well, the voting date is you have early voting in October, and then you have the real voting date in November. The early voting date is from October 25th through November 1st, and then the real voting date is on November 8th, 2022.
Okay, awesome. Do you have a ballot number yet?
Oh yes, it's 59.
59. You all heard that, right? 59.
Number 59.
When you go to the polls, you want to vote for ballot number 59. None other
Grace
than,
and deliverance.
yes, Attorney Dele Adebamiji.
Hey, and she's
Yes.
doing so good.
Yes, so you all remember that name, and we will, we'll definitely keep you all informed and updated, and you will be able to reach out to us. And also, too, is there a way that they can reach out to you, Attorney Dele, if needed to be so?
Yes, you can always log on to www.electdele.com, and you can also reach us on Instagram, Dele for George, and you can also reach us on Facebook, Dele Adebamiji for District Judge. So
Awesome.
we'll be glad to see you on all those sites.
Yes, awesome. Well, look, we want to say thank you. I greatly appreciate this opportunity. I don't take it lightly. I am truly honored to be in your presence, as well as my sister, Cheryl Richard. And we greatly just appreciate you tremendously. And we're looking to celebrate, because there's going to be a celebration in November.
Amen.
Yes.
You're calling it into being. Amen.
Well, that's what the Bible says. Speak those things as though they are. And we're speaking it into existence.
Yes.
Amen.
We're calling it as we see it. And I really do believe firmly that you fit to be that district court judge.
Amen. And thank you very much. Both of you look beautiful today. And thank you for having me on your program. And God bless.
God bless you.
Thank you.
I want to leave this with you.
Okay.
We cannot end Exposure Spotlight Magazine talk show without giving you our motto. Remember this, that your voice matters.
Yes.
God bless you.
You too.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hi, this is Teresa Perkins, editor and host of Exposure Spotlight Magazine and talk show, where your voice matters. If you have a business, event, project, or even written a book and would like to be featured in Exposure Spotlight Magazine or be a guest on our show, you want to give us a call at 1-855-828-7200. Again, that number is 1-855-828-7200. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Are you looking for the key to your castle? Choose a mortgage company that works for you. Ambassador Mortgage. Don't miss out on your dream home. Pick up the phone now. 225-341-3551. Ambassador Mortgage, a mortgage company that's changing lives and making dreams come true. Voices of Virtue, a talk show you don't want to miss. Trending news, topics of today, empowerment, outreach advocate, life coaching, spiritual conversations, primary focus on marriage, relationships, and divorces. Hosted by the one and the only Cheryl D. Richard. To be a guest, give them a call at 225-577-3436. You haven't tried the best until you have tried T. Monique Naturals, natural and organic hair product-based company, leaving it soft, smooth, and moist. Shop now online at www.tmoniquenaturals.com. If you're looking for ways to strengthen your hair and give your natural the look that will turn heads, shop at tmoniquenaturals.com.